see that form? It's like not super wide, okay? Like what you want to feel like you're bending the floor.
What?
And this, I've been trying to show you my missionary position for the past 30 fucking seconds. Have you not been paying attention?
I'm looking for a piece of paper, a form.
It's so hot with these leather jackets on, dude. I cannot concentrate.
Yeah, this looks so fucking cool, though.
They look cool, but it's so hot.
Sweat's cool, dude.
You're still not watching?
Slick back your hair. Slick back your hair.
It's already slicked back, dude. It's fucking drenched from all the sweat.
You got your knees pretty low there.
Like on my body? My knees are melting?
No, bones.
Oh.
It was step 2. Okay, it's a roll. It's like a grind. It's not a thrust.
Dude, you shouldn't pop your back like that, though.
My dick's gonna get fucking carpet burn. All right, if you're not gonna pay attention, Kron.
You stand on the end of the bed and just have her lay on the bed.
I'm talking about when you fuck in the store. This is how I fuck right here in the store.
No, dude, no.
Wait, Dan, you stand on the...
This is sacred fucking ground.
You stand on the edge of the bed?
No, I stand on the floor. She lays on the edge of the bed, and I'm just standing. I don't need to, straddle. I'm just there.
Kron, Dan's race car bed is not big enough for him to stand on. It would tip over.
I got hydraulics installed.
I thought, how tall is this lady?
Yeah, they short, small, whatever I can get. Not complaining.
All right. Now, that kind of worked me out. I'm going to lay on my back and show you cowgirl position.
You guys want a cigarette?
I'm a power.
Phone's ringing. Phone.
I'm on the floor. Kron, get the fucking phone.
Do I leave it?
Ahoy hoy, 5-day rentals. Yes. Oh shit!
What is it?
Shut the fuck up, Dan.
Down.
Kron, what is it?
Fuck up, Dan.
They're shutting us down. I know it.
Okay, got it, guys. God, just keeps getting worse and worse, guys. Jerry, our infallible leader, he's in the ICU.
What?
Heart attack? Pay up. If it is, pay up, dudes.
They said he got.
I called heart attack.
Said he got the shit kicked out of him.
What?
He got the shit kicked out of him. All the guys were wearing steel-toed boots.
Who was it?
Who was it? Big Wall, the other video rental store company.
Movie stars?
No, Big Wall. Yeah, it's Big Wall.
Fuck.
Big Wall of videos. That's their gimmick. All right.
Pretty big wall, I will say. My parents rent there.
They said he's got internal bleeding, by the way.
Is he going to make it, or do we have to go there? Do we have to do anything?
They said it was pretty sketch.
Wow.
How many of these dudes did this?
I don't know.
Do they have security outside his door? Because if they find out that the job's not finished.
No security. They shut the cameras off at the Big Wall.
Kron, you're going to have to sit outside his door, dude.
I'm not sitting outside anybody's door.
We'll pull shifts, dude.
What are we doing there?
To protect fucking Jerry? The guy who paid your fucking electric bill?
Oh, there's got to be more than this out there, right? There's got to be more than Big Wall and 5-day rentals fighting all the time.
No, dude. Fuck those fucking idiots. I hate them.
All right.
Oh, this is upsetting me.
I'm going to fuck them like I fuck on this floor. Do you understand? I'm going to fuck them harder than Dan on his race car bed.
Standing on the edge. Just his toes gripping the fucking race car.
All right, when can we see him?
Kron, you're more worried about me fucking than Jerry dying. Okay? Get your fucking head straight.
I'm worried
Well,
about
because
Jerry
one of those
dying.
things might actually happen, Dan.
You know Jerry's strong, dude. Jerry's not. This happened a week ago, and Jerry came back.
I say we shut the door. We shut the door. We lock the door.
I did lose the phone. I will say that.
We
That's
go out the back
fault.
door.
Mm-hmm.
We come back around. We get in our cars. And we go over the big wall.
Can we just set it on fire? Karan, do you have any coffee creamer?
We can talk about
Of course I do.
on the way.
What do you think I fucking got these leather pants up with? I had to have some kind of slick barrier to pull up.
Oh, the leather's probably like fire retardant as well, right?
Yeah, dude.
It's
We
just
can easily,
just in case the fucking coffee creamer goes up in your pocket.
Mhm. We can easily burn for a good 2-3 minutes before we got to get out of the big wall.
Okay.
It's going to melt right into
So we're going to go burn down the big wall. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes! Yes!
Fuck yeah, dude. Now we're doing something.
I'm
now we're
fucking
doing
excited.
something.
I'm fucking excited. Okay.
I was
Listen.
going to quit, but now I'm not.
All right. If we attack too soon, it's going to be obvious. All right. And if we attack without our heads clear, you know.
Well, if we wait too long, we are going to look weak.
We're not going to wait too long. All right. We're going to take about 90 minutes because this week on 5 Day Rentals, it's The Outsiders. Welcome to 5 Day Rentals, the video store podcast, where each week one of us takes a crack at picking a flick that we think meets a fun, non-genre specific category. My name is Bones, and this category is called the English Room TV Card, parentheses, based on a book. That's right, the written word. The adaptation to the big screen of the finest of art forms, books. I'm joined as always by Cron Howard, Laundry Dan. Dudes, what you reading?
I found out about this book that's called Paperbacks from Hell. It's all about like cheap 70s and 80s, paperbacks that would be in like drugstores and shit.
Like sleazy, pulpy stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
But they're like horror focused. And then this that was the first thing that came out, but then I guess they released a batch of like 12 of them that they're like reissuing. So I'm reading one of the reissues of these pulpy kind of horror themed books.
Hell yeah. LD, what you reading?
Parking the Moose by Dave Hill.
Nice. After
Bones,
a year,
what are you reading?
I am after a year of trying to get through Heat 2, I cracked and just bought the audiobook so I could just grind that out at work. I got to tell you, not a fan of the reader. It's a little much. He's putting a little too much stank on it for me.
Does he do like a Pacino and a De Niro?
He does a Pacino. He does Chinese accents. He does Mexican accents. Yeah. But what's really
paycheck.
What's good about it is that you sort of see the repetitiveness in a lot of Michael Mann's writing, especially for that genre. So like the word raw is just constant. He feels it. It makes him feel raw. The fire between the two. His skin is burning. Raw. It sounds it sounds like fucking Job from Arrested Development when he's talking about club sauce. Chicken tenders with club sauce. Macaulay enters the back, armed with his AR-15 carbine and a pocket full of shells.
Sounds tough as hell, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You think Job heard it and was like, why didn't they call me for this?
I mean, the fucker's busy being in every other commercial on TV.
And a number one podcast in the world.
Yeah, he's got that 8-minute long podcast that everybody likes.
Celebrities ruining podcasts.
Hey,
Can't we have anything?
they're funny. They're funny, and people need to know what they're saying.
No.
Maybe they should have spent a little more time writing the reboots of Arrested Development than doing this.
Guys, The Outsiders. This kicks off based on a book. We're back to just a standard lame category. We came off pretty hot, spooky season. Thanks to all our buddies for that giant fucking mess of a category, and I mean that in the positive. What's up, Dan?
Was a lot of energy put into
lot of energy,
those 3 episodes.
some record-setting episode lengths, conscious effort to not do that for a while. But it feels good. A little behind the curtain. We actually just saw each other not too long ago recording our Phantasm episode. So it does feel weird whenever, I feel like we haven't recouped yet. I don't know about you guys.
We're back in the saddle. We should knock out like 3 in one night.
Night?
Maybe.
Yeah. We could still be recording at like 4 a.m.
No.
Delirious, punch drunk, actual drunk.
That's 11 p.m. for me.
So you just want to do the Phantom episode across 8 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, did you read The Outsiders in school?
I think so. I think this
I was
was like
thinking
a
about that.
8th grade read and then watch. Like in class, we watched it.
I think we had the choice between this and Catcher in the Rye, and I think the class went Catcher in the Rye.
Comparable stories, I would say. Comparable lessons, right?
It is weird at the 8th grade level that they're like, hey, you should read one of these 2 books about how you will never escape your the card that you first drew.
Well, now these are banned, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's important to accept that you are a snowflake and better than your situation, but you'll never get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of good to know that you might be attracted to your best friend.
What?
Is that the lesson you got from this movie?
What, did you guys not watch the director's cut?
That's just... I didn't get that from this movie, Dan.
No, I could see it could be taken that way, but I didn't. That was just a joke.
Okay.
They're
You
boys.
had me concerned.
They're
boys.
both trans, dude. How
Boys
did you not
don't
know
do
that?
that.
Oh, you're
Boys
just
don't
hanging
do
out-
that.
Hanging out with your boys, dude.
It's some... What, preppy kid read this in 8th grade and cheered for the other side? They had to have, right? My dad bought me a Mustang. This is bullshit. Doesn't mean I'm an asshole. Why'd he stab that guy? He was just fucking around with him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they read it and they're like, they were obviously attacked. Like, the outsiders took it a step too far.
I think they were good. They didn't even have to leave. It was self-defense, if you ask me.
They're 14 years old, man. They panicked.
Yeah, they're also 14. They would have gone to juvie for a month and then
So
back
they're
out on
trying
the
to
street.
drown the kid.
Well, Johnny's 16. What? Yes, but it doesn't. It still, people freak out once they get the word that they've got some people coming to their defense in terms of testifying that it's self-defense. They change their mind, but
I guess a judge really isn't going to believe any of the other outsiders.
yeah.
I'm sure it's also
It's
part of
grease
like
heads.
gang mentality, though. Like if shit ever hits the fan, you go see this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll get you the fuck out.
You guys would hide me?
I put you on the lam, dude.
I'd put you on a train.
Yeah.
You could give me a flight?
I'd get you a Greyhound ticket.
Come
Flight.
on, dude.
Dude, you fucked up. You don't get a flight.
Also, the whole point is to not be fucking
test.
to not be tracked, dude.
That's the test I'm giving you guys right now. You're supposed to tell me no, dude. You gotta take the bus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll get you a Greyhound ticket. And I'll have to deal with the shitstorm you created back in town.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna use your name, yeah.
Well, we all know any murder in town, Kron's getting picked up for it.
Mm-hmm. I
You
get
reckon
pulled in. On
you talk
all the
Usual
murders,
suspect.
dude.
You talk a big game there, Cracky Kron.
Just say the line, Kron. Give me the fucking keys, you fucking cocksucker.
Give me the fucking keys.
Give me the fucking keys, you fucking cocksucker.
No, I'm Baldwin.
There is no darkness in light.
You could take...
There is no darkness.
Say the line.
Obviously, Bones is spacey. I'm...
Shut the fuck up.
Give me the fucking keys, you cocksucker.
Give me the
All
fucking
right.
keys, you fucking cocksucker.
Now, the adaptation,
Do the verbal, Kim.
the movie.
Both.
We're moving on. We're talking about The Outsiders. Had you guys seen the movie? Did you watch it in lieu of Catcher in the Rye, Dan? If the class picked Catcher in the Rye, were you allowed to? Did they also show Outsiders?
I think Outsiders was something that was always on like TBS, so
So you've seen pieces of it?
no, I don't know. I know I've seen it, but I always remember it being on like television.
You're not a Coppola completist?
I can't say that I've seen his early 2000s stuff. Twix, Youth Without Youth.
He made the Twix movie?
Yeah.
Twixt.
Will Arnett's in the commercial.
Yeah. Left or right, you know. It's a whole war. It's kind of like The Outsiders. No, I'm not a completionist, though.
Kron, Outsiders. Favorite movie
Yeah.
ever?
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw this in 8th grade and probably didn't see it again until now.
Any connection to the material between either of you?
I mean, I thought it was a cool book whenever we read it. Like, it seemed more adult than the normal kind of shit that they were, you know, having us read at the time.
Yeah. So
Go
ahead.
Did you get anything from what an educator's mindset was for teaching this book?
Well,
Is it the author's like way that she writes, or is it the themes? I don't know. I didn't have the lessons.
Yeah.
So.
I can tell you that this was one of those where I just bullshitted and didn't really read the book. I could skim sort of really quick and pick out things, and then I would kind of flub the tests. I was not a strong reader in school. I didn't have that desire to read the stuff that they were telling us to read. I'd much rather watch TV when I got home. And then when we watched this movie, it connected to me. I was like, oh, shit, this is fucking cool. This isn't like the other lame stuff that they're making us watch. So I did go back and I read the book after that. And then this week, I listened to the audiobook. It's quick. I think it's less than 8 hours. So I knocked it out pretty quick. So I do have some of those differences keyed up. If you have any questions, maybe I can kind of fill in those gaps, because listener, we watched the theatrical version, not the recently released complete novel version that was recut.
It was 30 minutes added.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
It's weird they shot all the scenes just within the last couple of years, though. All the additional stuff. Like, all the guys look way too old.
Still around.
Everybody but Cruise, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks pretty close.
It is weird to see old teeth Tom Cruise.
He's getting some kind of thing with his face now, too.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It's looking off.
This last round of publicity for Mission Impossible was like, yeah, it's catching up to him.
And now that they just pushed the next one,
he's like, fuck.
He's like, yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I don't believe that. I mean, nothing says they're not doing the Vin Diesel sort of digital cleanup. We'll see.
I mean, it would have been cool to just get an old man Ethan Hunt at some point, though. If he had just kind of aged naturally.
That's what they were trying to do with Ghost Protocol by bringing in Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, what are your big takeaways watching The Outsiders this week?
It's just fun doing shit with your boys, dude. I mean, getting into scraps, fucking hitting up the movie theater, being a little saucy with the ladies.
Yeah. I mean, I never had a friend group or a gang that was this tight when I was this young. You know?
I was going to say we need to have each other's back no matter what.
I think we do. We said we'd put you on a bus, dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Now either admit to whatever the fuck you did.
We're getting you a steerage class seat, though.
Yeah.
You're not setting it up at the front, dude.
Why is there always suffering?
Because you fucked up. You did something bad.
I got to live with it for the rest of my life. At least give me a decent seat.
We're getting you out of town. Doesn't that count for something to you?
Like, what would be the order if something went wrong? Who are you calling first, Karan?
If something went really wrong?
Yeah.
I'm grabbing my go bag and getting in my truck, dude. And
30 seconds?
yeah, no one will ever hear from me again.
Are you showing up at our house?
You guys don't even have a go bag.
I got to go back.
You don't have a go bag, dude.
I got a deposit on an apartment.
I'm not running. I'm standing my ground, dude.
It's dumb.
Fuck, come at me, bro.
I got a separate passport. I got licenses.
I'm going out, sitting in my own fucking house. Come and get me, fool.
Come and take it.
Mm-hmm. Guys.
Yeah.
Rate my Letterboxd.
All right. Bones. This Outsiders movie is from 1983, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. It's sitting at a 3.6 for the user review on Letterboxd at the moment. I'm going to give you a 4.5.
It's between 4 and 4.5, right? With Bones. I'm going to be here with LD. I'm going to give you a 4.5.
All right.
This seems like a secret Bones backdoor 5-star banger. That he
read the book.
Yeah, he's just going to give it a 4.5 and then.
And it's got Tom Cruise in it. Is this our first Tom Cruise movie?
Jack Reacher, 5-star banger.
Oh, shit. Jesus Christ. Second Tom Cruise movie.
Speaking of hopping on a bus, that's locked in. Initial thoughts on this thing. I asked your takeaways. I think maybe you guys were hesitant because we hadn't locked me in yet, but let's chat.
I do think it's better than I remember the movie being. Like, it kind of has a good flow. I mean, I've not seen the extended cut, but I think an hour and a half is good on this thing. I do think it's weird that they show this to young children, because it is kind of depressing, and it's a little rapey, and it's pretty, for like school, it's violent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like a weird blend of adult stuff that, I don't know why they picked this book. I'm sure there's a school somewhere that's like still teaching The Outsiders. It's just an odd choice to be like, watch this sad shit about a kid that dies.
I think teachers got pissed whenever he came out with the novel cut, complete novel cut. They're like, God damn it.
What? Like they could have used that 20 years ago?
No, there's like they're gonna know the questions now because they're just gonna go watch the movie, and now he did the complete novel cut, and now they're gonna know all the fucking answers. So
I'm sure
teachers are
there's
probably like
pick different books then. If you're worried about that, change your curriculum where it's not. You're not covering stuff that has an adaptation of it.
Yeah, throw down Infinite Jest and let those kids go to town.
Yeah, man.
Any answer's correct.
Damn it. PTA made Inherent Vice. We can't read that now.
Hey, you guys might be watching that next week.
Yeah, doubt it. Kron, to your point about like the violence and some of the behaviors, I do think there is a theme of consequence, right? Not to say that, you know, it's one for one, every bad person gets something, but there's some forgiveness involved, but for the most part, the characters that stand out as the worst do have bad outcomes.
You think Johnny is the worst? Johnny gets it worse than anybody.
Well, Johnny's depressing, and he does sort of in a way redeem seems a little harsh because he pays an even greater price, right?
Yeah.
But there's the clarity that he gets before he dies is at least, you know, there's some peace in that. And that's what he's at least trying to, he does something with it by writing the letter, you know. He only kills, okay, fucking spoilers for The Outsiders if you fucking did what I did and didn't read it or watch it. So, basic premise, I think it's Oklahoma City is where it's set. We've got
Tulsa,
thank you. Two major factions. The Socias, which are the rich kids, and the Greasers, which are the blue-collar, poor, wrong side of the tracks kids. Our main character is Ponyboy. His best friend, Johnny, they get into a tiff. Ponyboy is being drowned. Johnny kills the main assailant, and they go on the lam. They come back, or they're on their way back to turn themselves in after knowing that there are some people that will come to their defense saying it was self-defense. The church that they're hiding out in is lit aflame, caused by them. And there's also a school field trip at the time. Some children are trapped inside this church.
The field trip is to an old abandoned church?
Yeah.
Why?
Maybe it's a fame. I don't know. It's a pic. I don't know.
That seems fucking weird, dude.
Anyway, they save all the children from this fire, but in doing so, Johnny,
they don't have a Dave and Buster's in town.
Not in Tulsa. It's the fucking 50s, dude. They hadn't figured out cool shit like that yet.
Tulsa, hit us up on Discord. Let us know if you got a D&B down there.
Anyway, Johnny dies from his wounds that he basically, the church falls on him. The roof collapses. His back is broken and he's burnt like 40% of his body. He dies. There is a massive rumble, which is a little bit of somewhat of a retaliation from the Socs having lost one of their main guys. Our greasers win said rumble, but the guy who is sort of is Johnny's main mentor loses it and commits suicide by cop on the night that Johnny dies. And that's it. That's the Outsiders. I don't know. Karma seems too spiritual of a word, but I do feel like there's some thematic. We've talked about it. There's a little bit of you're more than your hand that you're dealt.
Johnny was suicidal.
No, he's not. He's just trying to
Johnny's not
save
suicidal.
those kids.
No, Johnny said multiple times that he wanted to kill himself.
Yeah, but I think even in his speech, he's like, I used to say that all the time, but I never really meant it,
Well, yeah, now because of what has happened to him.
Well,
so he realized he wanted to live.
Well, he didn't have the emotional faculty to deal with the fact that his parents are pieces of shit that fight constantly, beat the shit out of him, and have a toxic home life. So you couldn't relate to that when you were 13 to 16? You couldn't think like, why don't I just fucking kill myself? Fuck this. If this is what life's going to be the rest of my life, it's not worth it.
Masturbation was too much fun at that age.
Okay.
Still is for some of us, Dan.
It still is.
You think they let you crank if you're on death row?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like it's kind of like after your final meal, they look away for 5 minutes.
I mean, this is America, man. Come on.
Well, they always know when the inmate is like, I want a real carb heavy and I want a lot of milk. They're like, you fucking perv. It doesn't work that way. But like, in their mind, they're like,
I just want honey.
What would you guys pick
for my final meal?
Yeah.
The Bible.
It's hardcore, dude.
Eat the Bible one page at a time.
There was a guy
right in front
on
of
death row who ate the Bible for his last meal. He was such a hardcore atheist. I was like, I'll throw into your fund me for your family.
I don't know. I'd want maybe something.
Got to get that fourth meal, baby.
Yeah, Taco Bell maybe a black bean crunch wrap.
Just so you're just filled with fucking
make him deal with it. Yeah. Maybe just a big batch of summer chili, just nice and runny.
I think if I was going electric chair, I'd try to get 2 pounds of unpopped popcorn kernels.
See if it worked.
Hell yeah, dude.
Don't wet that sponge, bro.
Just fucking blow up and shit.
I'm like, you're a funny motherfucker, man.
You guys don't seem too into this, so why don't we go ahead and
take the show, Bones?
I know, but the energy is, I don't know. Let's just go. We're going to take a break here, and then we'll come back, and we will rip through the plot on The Outsiders, Francis Ford Coppola's adaptation of the S.E. Hinton literary high school classic. Welcome back. We're talking Outsiders, 1983. Fancy Ford Coppola's.
Carpooler.
Kind of previously on the show with a previous Bones pick of Supernova. And then I think he might have
might
have been involved in something else, Dan.
No,
or attached to something else, I thought.
Gone with the Pope, because it's so gangstery.
maybe produced something that we covered.
Well, Gone with the
Produces a
Wind
lot.
is a heavily, I wouldn't say
Referenced here.
involved. It's a literal like plot point of The Outsiders, and I can't tell you how many times I almost typed Gone with the Pope while doing this plot breakdown. Anyway, we start off.
If I was dying, I'd pick a better book. I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe in a way you're like, give me a real long-ass book, because God wouldn't let me die without finishing this, right? Like, give me War and Peace or something.
Infinite Jest.
Shit. How'd you guys know I'm picking War and Peace next week?
Pony Boy. He ponders at his desk. His hair's all blonde. He starts writing. When I stepped out into the bright sunlight. Cue our credit scene. A beautiful Stevie Wonder song. Stay Gold. Classic old Hollywood sets and lights. We open. We're back. We see Matt Dillon, who's playing Dallas. He's chilling on a street corner. Lights a cig. Looks pretty cool. Two younger toughs come up. It's Pony Boy again.
Is that the same guy from Something About Mary?
Yes, it is.
Yes, Kron. It's a beautiful film. Beautiful looking film.
Something About Mary?
No,
The Outsiders.
The Outsiders.
When they show that the bean is above the frank, dude.
I knew you were going to say that.
I fucking lose it, dude.
I've only seen that movie one time, and I've turned it on again, and I'm like, I can't do this. It's just not. How did I make it through this movie the first time? It's terrible. It's horrid. Does not hold up.
I feel like that's when I would just catch in chunks on, TNT in the afternoon.
That was a really awkward watch with my family.
Did you guys go to the theater together?
No, we rented it because it was, it was such a hot movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. Everybody loved it, And then we got to the bathroom. The opening scene, you're like, oh, this is pretty funny. This isn't that bad. You can kind of relate. You're 13 or 14 years old whenever it came out. And then you get to the beat off scene, and you're like, this is worse than a fucking sex scene.
And then you're like, now I can really relate to this movie.
Well, I didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, whatever. Sure.
No.
Oh, should I try it with my left hand?
I was slicking my
Zodiac
hair back for
over
years after that movie.
You mean your hair was sticking straight up for years?
Well, I got a good swoop going.
So two younger toughs show up. It's Pony Boy, but his hair isn't blonde. What the hell's going on here? And then a young little karate kid, Ralph Macchio. He's playing Johnny. Pony Boy is C. Thomas Howell, by the way.
Yes.
These dudes meet up. They ask Dallas or Dally, what are we getting into? He says, nothing legal. They got some time before their plan, so they meander around the city. They stop by another greaser grain. What?
Does Dallas seem like... I guess when I was in 8th grade, I was like, oh, that's the cool guy. And watching it now, I'm like, this guy's the biggest fucking loser of the group. Like,
Yeah.
he can't let go of... He's still doing like 14-year-old shit.
Yeah. They don't talk about it much at all, I think, in this version of the movie, but they mentioned that he was in New York for a while. He's in and out of jail. He did spend some time in like actual jail. He's there in Oklahoma because he is an aspiring rodeo rider.
Really?
Yeah. And then Tom Waits, who's in a scene and gets credited, In the complete novel version, I'm assuming there's more with him. He plays Buck. He's like a rodeo dude who's kind of his mentor, but Buck's kind of a dick. They mention a lot.
You guys like his music?
Tom Waits?
Yeah.
I never really got into it. I legitimately know him more as an actor than as a musician.
It's 50-50 with me. Some of them stuff's pretty good, and then some of it's like, yeah, I'm not into this.
It's like the inverse of me with David Lynch. Like, I like David Lynch's music. I haven't seen a ton of his movies.
I feel like with Tom Waits, it's like I like the idea of what he's doing, and then if I put on an album by like 4 songs in, I'm like, wonder what else I haven't, like what other music I could be listening to right now.
I have countless ones like that, though. The Who, Paul Simon, all these artists or bands that are supposed to be, super influential or whatever, I just can't connect to. Rolling Stones, okay, cool.
I do like some of his stuff. It's just kind of, I don't know. It ends up being all the same thing all the time. And then I'm like, all right, we got to switch it up here a little bit.
He's on the Dylan level with me. Like, I'm not huge into Dylan.
Yeah.
And Waits is kind of that same, like, fan base almost. Like, it's like, I get it, but I'm not paying to see the guy.
Yeah, I don't want him in my algorithm.
Yeah.
There's
a few songs I'm like, all right, cool. Actually, Dylan, I believe, like, tons of other artists have done way better versions of what he's made. Don't fucking
so that's
me, please.
That's something, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, he starts the seed and then somebody else makes it good. It's a vital role to play.
I'm not a Rush fan, but I understand that Rush is important to
Canadian
musical history and Canadian
to Canada
history.
Yeah.
But I'm not buying a t-shirt.
Oh, sorry you don't like Rush, yeah?
Is that Canadian Kron?
There's no wrong side of the tracks up in Canada, huh?
No.
Just one track.
Yeah. No. Everybody gets along up there. Everybody's like a Sosha, right? Everybody's a Sosha but dresses like a greaser.
Now, are they putting, like, what does he mean by get the grease out of my hair?
They literally grease their hair.
Yeah, they're greasing up, dude.
What kind of grease?
The same as in Greasy Strangler. I don't know.
I assume it's some sort of...
Is it actual hair shit?
Yeah.
It's like a...
thick-ass pomade or something.
Yeah,
I
like pomade.
All right.
Yeah.
It's wet. It's wet look pomade.
So Dally leads these two around the city a little bit. They stop off. They see Steve and Soda Pop at the local DX gas station. Then they run through a back lot where they fuck with some little kids. And as the sun starts to set...
Does Soda Pop do anything in the book? In this movie specifically, it seems like he just works at the gas station. And he could like not even live at the house that they all hang out in. He's just got like a job and shit.
Soda is very important in the book. There's a massive subplot cut from this cut of the movie. Yeah.
Is it a Vietnam subplot?
The main thing is he is dealing with a relationship, like a girlfriend that he wants to marry, who is from a better family. And
did she get pregnant?
I think that's implied. It might actually be in there so what you find out is the week that Johnny and Ponyboy are on the run, he is not only dealing with like the stress of where his brother is, but he's also dealing with like trying to track down this girl because she moves to Florida. And then later in the story,
grandparents,
they get he gets a returned letter. He's like freaking out about the mail. Like, did we get the mail? Did we get the mail? And he gets a letter. Like,
oh my God.
Oh my God. And then there's a big breakdown scene with the three brothers where he basically admits, like, hey, it's tough to be in the middle of this because he is the bridge between Derry and Ponyboy. Because him being the middle child, he's kind of trying to play peacemaker all the time.
So he's still in Tulsa when the book ends.
Yes, I think, yeah.
Okay. Because S.E. Hinton did say that he gets drafted and he dies in Vietnam. I think that was her.
What she was getting to? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's at the end of the movie when it's like it goes to a freeze frame, and then at the bottom of the screen it tells you what happened to all the outsiders.
Yeah, it's like the end of Animal House. He was killed by his own troops.
Friendly fire.
That's how is it Niedermeyer, I think, that in at the end of Animal House, like that's what his card says, like he was a lieutenant in the army and he was murdered by his own platoon for being such an asshole. So forgive me, I am trying to like the big thing at the end of the book. So where this movie ends, there's still another third of the book. And we'll get there. I'll try to remember to throw that in. So the sun is finally going down, and we see what their actual plans are. They're going to the fucking drive-in, but they ain't driving in. They're sneaking in through the fence.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. In the book, he talks about we could have afforded it. It was very inexpensive. It's super cheap to go watch like 3 movies, but it was just their way to sneak in. It always made it feel more exciting. There's a lot of elements in it of like stealing and things like this. They just get a rise out of everybody. So they go and they sit down in like the pedestrian area, like the section of seats for people that do walk in who don't come in a car.
I guess there's just like a loudspeaker over there that will play the audio from the movie.
Yeah.
If you go to one now, it's like all through your car radio and shit. But I guess there's got to be some, like if you go to concessions or something.
I will say the one that I just went to, it had both. You can do it through your car, or it has old school.
Oh, shit.
Little speakers.
The only one I've ever been to, it's like all, you got to bring a boombox or just have your car on the whole time.
And it actually made it kind of annoying. We actually had to turn the car radio up because there was just like a microsecond delay and it kind of echoed. So once we sort of turned it up, I think I actually I pulled the car forward a little bit more and turned it up a little bit more than would have been ideal. So, all right, they sit down. They sit behind.
Push you around.
A pretty hot redhead, and like her friend. I guess she's pretty cute too.
Oh my god, dude! Diane Lane in this movie.
Yeah, 100%.
It's unreal.
And
how good this woman looks.
And Dallas feels the same way. He's immediately infatuated with her, starts harassing the shit out of her, asking her stuff like, are you red all over? Does everything match? How do I find out? And she is not putting up with his shit. She calls him a greaser asshole. They push back and forth. Important here, too, like we're cut around, we see Emilio Estevez also doing some harassment. We haven't met him yet, but he's just out and around the drive-in. So
well, I think the
you got going here, man.
The Socias were also doing some harassment of Diane Lane because that's why she gets out of there. She was like in a car, and then she's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, we kind of in one shot of the boys walking where they sort of snuck in, and they go to their seats. As we pass by, we see a Socia Mustang, and Bob and Randy are fighting with their respective girlfriends because they want to sit and drink, and the girls don't want to be involved. And these girls are Cherry and Marcia. That's what prompts them to go sit in this pedestrian area.
real tension between Dylan and Lane there while shooting.
Oh, is he like a scumbag to her?
A little too rough.
She was just young, and he was just getting into the character, and I guess she didn't appreciate that, so there was tension.
Well, he's definitely trying to be a Brando here, right? I assume, I get the vibe that he was probably dressing and acting this character even offset, you know? I don't know how effective he is, but he's definitely trying.
Coppola really pushed for relationships while filming all of this. So he wanted Swayze and all the brothers to spend the night in the house together and cook and all that. He wanted Dylan to spend the night in jail. And I guess Dylan was like, nah, man, I'm not doing that. So he kind of...
Wussy.
I think the scripts, he gave the Socs like a nice script. He gave all the greasers like a shitty ass, like torn up version, just so they felt the parts.
That's kind of cool. All right, so there's some back and forth with Cherry and Dally. He fucks off, goes and gets some more concessions, trying to make amends. 2-bit is Emilio Estevez. He comes over and hangs out. And Dally comes back. He decides, I'm going to actually sit next to Cherry, kind of gives her a soda. Let me make up for it. She dumps the fucking soda on him. He starts fucking with her back, and finally Johnny stands up for Cherry, and he's like, all right, Dally, that's enough. Cut it out. Which is a huge... She
gives him some shit, though.
Oh, she holds her own. She holds her own. And
hands off, Hood.
Yeah.
God damn.
So Dally's finally like, well, fuck this. Fuck you guys too. I'm out. He bails. Cherry and Marcia, they ask, hey, why don't you come up and sit next to us? You nice greaser boys. In this conversation, it's back and forth, like, what's your name? My name's Ponyboy. Is that your actual name? Yes, that is my legal name. My dad was a fucking weirdo. I also have a brother named Soda Pop. And they light up. Oh, we know Soda Pop. He's like the cutest boy in fucking school. When he was in school, because he dropped out to go work full-time at the gas station.
Yeah, he runs the Texaco. I mean...
Yep. Him and Steve, man, running the DX. Cherry wants to go get some more popcorn. She invites Ponyboy so they can keep talking. They walk through the snack bar, and a major thing cut from the book is how protective 2-bit is of these two. So in the book, 2-bit is a little bit older. They describe him as having like massive sideburns. He's like a perpetual thief. He just fucking takes anything he can. He gets a rise out of it. He has a super expensive switchblade that he likes to show off. That it took him like 2 hours to figure out how to steal this thing. But he is very protective of the boys, and is sort of like, he's sort of knighted by Derry to kind of look out for him. And we see a little bit of this because when Ponyboy and Cherry get up to go to the snack bar, 2-bit's like, hey, I'm buying, also get something for Johnny. He looks out for Johnny quite a bit. So inside the snack bar, Ponyboy and Cherry, they're chatting some more. Cherry's immediately kind of into Ponyboy, respects that he's more than just a hood. And he has his fair share of like back and forth, like, you know, we're not all like this. Like, I do like to read. I do well in school, blah, blah, blah.
He kind of just gets moved up because he's not a piece of shit. Like,
yeah, the bar is very low.
Yeah, his main quality is that, yeah, he's not Dallas.
Yeah. So. And a big takeaway from the snack bar conversation is she asks, like, why is Johnny so jumpy and why is he scarred up? And Ponyboy mentions that Johnny was just recently jumped by a group of Socs, and one of them had a lot of rings. And in the book, it's a very tense explanation of him being jumped, and the way that Derry and Soda Pop kind of help Johnny to try to, like, you know, like, it's kind of touch and go there for a second. He truly does get the absolute shit kicked out of him. So he's been jumpy for the last week. They come back out. We see...
Is it the same reader as Heat 2?
No, thank God.
I was hoping he'd say, like, they beat him raw.
Yeah, I was trying to see what the next thing in my notes were. Ponyboy also mentions his older brother, Daryl, who basically says, he fucking hates me. Ever since my parents died, he's kind of taken over, and I think he wishes he had nothing to do with me. But
do you think that the dad was like, well, I got to name my first kid a real name, and then after that he was like, oh shit, I can pick anything.
I can write whatever on here?
Free reign.
Mm-hmm. So they come back out. They sit with 2-Bit, and at this point, 2-Bit and Marsha are kind of like hitting it off. Johnny's kind of keeping to himself. And another greaser comes by named Tim Shepard, who is an interesting character in the book. He kind of looms over. So Tim Shepard is... The greasers are like the overall gang, but there's little cliques inside of that. So our outsiders are pretty much a clique of the greasers. There's different cliques, and Tim Shepard is kind of like the dairy of another clique. And he's looking for Dally because he's pretty sure Dally's the one that fucked with his car. And 2-Bit and Johnny are like, no, we haven't seen him. He's not around here. Because Tim Shepard's like a real hardcore badass.
I do like that they say that Tim will be a fair fight. And hopefully that Dally doesn't have a switchblade or anything.
Yeah, that's exactly what 2-Bit says. Like when Tim leaves, he's like, did Dally have a blade on him? And they're like, I don't think so. And he's like, good, because Tim will fight fair. If not, like Tim will beat the shit out of him, but he won't fucking kill him.
I like that little detail.
Mm-hmm. So one of my favorite things in the book is Ponyboy mentions that as much of a dick as Derry is, he is just being protective, and he doesn't know how to be a parental figure. But he's very much ingrained with his crew, and they have an open door policy at the house, and they always have. So if Johnny needed to crash, he would come over and crash. 2-Bit had an okay home life, but he could just do whatever. He would hang out all the time. Steve would just come in all the time. He says, hell, even one time we came home and Tim Shepard was sitting in our room or in our living room just reading the newspaper, didn't say anything to us, and then he was gone in the morning. Like, their house was just sort of this hub, and it's a cool feature in the book because every once in a while he'll mention that.
I feel like they kind of have a scene like that in the movie, kind of towards the end. Yeah, where it's like they're all kind of hanging out at the house together. Yeah,
before they all get ready for work.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, we'll mention that, like a big explanation of their breakfast process at the Curtis household. So they leave the drive-in. As they're walking and still talking, cool Mustang shows up, and some fucking drunk-ass Socias get out.
All the cars are pretty fucking sweet in this movie.
Yeah, they're tough, dude. Mustangs are tough.
I wouldn't say that, but...
Well, it's just all those old cars that were like, they got a V12 engine in them. They cost $2,000.
They're all steel. They're fucking... They're death traps if you get hit by them, but... Well, there are no airbags, no fucking seatbelts, no nader bolts, but...
Yeah, you could smoke in them.
You could fall asleep, run it into a tree, and not even feel it.
Still drive home.
Yeah.
30 minutes later.
Well, yeah, if you're drunk, you don't tense up. That's why they fucking survive being tossed out of windshields and shit. All right, these Socias, these are Cherry and Marcia's boyfriends. And an important note here is that one of them has got a lot of fucking rings. And this makes Johnny real tense. So there's some fighting back and forth. Finally, Cherry's like, we got to go with him. I'm sorry. And a real fucked up thing here, but I get her reasoning. She's like, hey, I like you, but if I don't say hi to you in school, it's no hard feelings, all right? Ponyboy's like, yeah, whatever, fuck it. So they take off.
Doesn't that like wrap up middle school and high school though for a lot of people?
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And then you graduate and you talk to all these people and you're like, you're a fucking asshole.
I remember moving back to the States. I was so excited to play football. I had never lived in a place where I could play football. I was like, I want to try it. And the signups and everything were kind of before school started. You had like those summer practices kind of going into everything. And you kind of get to know some of the people. So the first day of school, I'm like, oh, I'm in class with this guy. Like, maybe I'm going to like have a friend group that I can kind of get ingrained with. And it was just an immediate like, who the fuck are you? Like, you fucking new kid? It's like, you just beat the shit out of me for 2 weeks.
Can't hang with us.
It's brutal.
Yeah, then you got stuck with me and Dan.
Yeah. All right, they're walking home.
I had to harass you for you to talk to me, Kron.
Yeah.
And finally, you just gave in.
I wasn't reaching out first. You gotta wine and dine me a little bit, Dan. I mean,
it paid off.
Well, and
we are legally married.
I mean, Dan and I knew of each other. Dan thought I was a dickhead because I was friendly with a particular guy. But ultimately, it was like a mash of friend groups that Dan and I became close. And then, Kron, you were like 4 or 5 steps away, you know?
Mm.
It's ultimately just the people that fell away from our friend group, and we were just the 3 that were still sending memes to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, on their way back home, Johnny hears his
podcast.
Yeah, world class. Johnny hears his parents fighting, and he's like, fuck that, I'm not going in there. I'm just going to sleep or hang out in the lot for a little bit. Ponyboy goes with him. They light a fire.
Dudes, if we all got on the same cul-de-sac, we could have a fucking lot in the middle. Like a couch.
Well, there would have to be like a plot of land that no one built a house on.
Yeah, I got a whole another acre we can put all kinds of shit on.
My cul-de-sac is like house. I mean, I guess there's enough room for a couch, but
it's pretty tight.
I don't know. I've never been invited to Kron's
Well,
house.
put that as one of the metrics in your fucking Zillow search, Dan, as you're looking for 3 homes in a cul-de-sac.
I sent you one right next to me the other day.
And there needs to be a big open lot.
I couldn't believe the price. I could not believe the price of that house.
He's actually dropped it. He wanted $250 for it. I'm like,
God,
you're fucking
damn
idiot, bro. He had it sold to a 79-year-old man, which I don't know why you're buying a fucking house at 79 years old.
Gotta die somewhere, dude.
You got 21 years left, dude.
Just check into the home, bro. And he wouldn't fix any fucking thing on it because the other neighbor's the realtor who was going to sell it. So I know all the shit that's going on. And yeah, the owner wouldn't fucking pay for shit. So that the old guy was like, yeah, fuck you, I'm not buying it. Then he dropped the price again.
And now he's going to have to fix it all anyway.
I'm like, you had it sold, bro. You're literally paying for a fucking house you're not living in.
I don't know. Maybe the math works out where he's like, no, for the price I'm moving it or trying to sell it for, it's not worth me.
He overpaid.
Okay.
Like, he jumped on it and overpaid.
Oh, what if he listens to this podcast? He's gonna fucking come for you, dude. Is he the guy that like shit in your bathroom or your kitchen?
On the kitchen floor?
Nobody shit in my kitchen. Okay.
You said somebody shit on the floor of your kitchen.
No, Van used to shit in kitchens when he would get shit-faced while he was serving in the United States Marines. Shout out to Van.
Semper Fi.
And they give me some toilet paper.
All right, they light a fire and they start lamenting with each other. They're like, there's got to be some place out there without greasers, without socias, some place with regular people. Ponyboy says, you know what? It's like that out in the country. You know, my old man used to take us out there, and he starts to dream, country silhouette, little family picnic, and then bam, family car smashed by a train. Ponyboy's awoken by a panicked Johnny. Hey, man, we both fell asleep. Shit, get home. I'm going home. Or no, Johnny says, I'm just going to fucking sleep here, but you got to go home or Derry's going to kick your ass. Ponyboy gets home.
Cold as hell. Why would you pick to stay out there?
It's brutal. Yeah.
They have like each one of them has just like a wife beater on and jeans. It looks like it's 32 degrees outside.
Well, it's the only jacket that Johnny has, the jean jacket, and...
Oh, yeah, because there's a part earlier where I think Dallas is like, why didn't you bring a coat? And he's just like, oh, I forgot. But it's like, no, the dude's just too poor to like have a coat, have a proper coat.
Ponyboy in the book, I believe, mentions like he has a bad habit of doing that. Like he forgets that it's going to get colder at night. So him going out in his like cut off sweatshirt, he's not thinking about it.
Right.
But it is sort of a bummer that Johnny just doesn't go with him to Ponyboy's house and just crashes on the couch or on the floor.
Yeah.
Temperature wise, yeah, substantially more comfortable. But Ponyboy gets home and Patrick Swayze is there and he's panicked as hell. Where the hell you been, boy? You know I can't call the fucking cops or they'll put your ass in a home. They got a little screaming match back and forth. And Rob Lowe is Soda Pop. He's trying to kind of play peacemaker between the two. Derry, he's just fucking hyped up, and he tells Soda Pop to shut up. And this makes Ponyboy even more mad, says, hey, don't yell at him. And Derry turns around and sort of pushes Ponyboy down. He falls, gets up, runs out, goes and wakes up Johnny. Come on, we're running away. And they do run away. They run about a block away.
I feel like a guy who's like watching you and is going to go to a rumble with you really wouldn't be mad that if you slept outside till 2 a.m.
Maybe that's just the rule though. Like you gotta come home.
Yeah.
But Derry doesn't know how to be a proper authoritarian. He doesn't have that capacity. Right? Like he's still part of the gang.
Jody from Phantasm, he just wants to get the fuck out of there.
They can't fuck around because if they get busted, there's a chance that they'll split them up. Because Soda and Ponyboy are so young, they may not say that, you know, Derry's suitable to be a guardian. I think that's the main concern. Is like if you keep fucking around,
he is going to rumbles with them.
But he's there the whole like, and again, that's the fucked up male brain. He doesn't know he only knows what he knows, right?
That's like a family activity for them, Dan.
Yeah. And even still, and he is kind of hesitant in that. He's even like, I really don't know. He kind of has to be talked into it. But Johnny and Ponyboy, they run about a block away through the alley.
Rumbles were like a thing today.
Weren't they kind of in high school? I feel like I never was at one, but I feel like you would hear about like, oh, these two guys are going to fight and like they each bring 6 guys with them. You know what I mean?
Well, you went to rock and roll high school.
I went to the same high school you went to. I mean,
yeah, your dad is Joey Ramone. Like,
I feel like people would be like, "Oh, we got into a scrap with the Lebanon kids."
Maybe that just wasn't my scene.
Well, I don't think it was mine, but I would hear about it.
No, I mean, I just did all my ass kicking on the mat.
Dan did his on a car bed.
I was ass kissing.
I'm going to stand on the edge of this car bed and beat the shit out of some Lebanon kids.
You guys don't stand on the side of the bed and...
You said you stood on the edge of the bed. Those were your exact words.
I understand what you're saying. You're standing next to the bed.
I do that sometimes, dude. I do like a lot of shit when I'm... It's not just one thing. That's part of it.
I don't mean to offend you, but it's so hard to imagine that.
What are you talking about?
It's
Thank you, Bones.
you know what I mean, right? It's like,
do you keep the glasses on?
I mean,
it's just I don't know.
Well, you know he's got a smile on his face. So.
You don't think I could do more than one position?
I'm not saying that.
No,
that's exactly what you're saying.
No, I'm not. I think you could do a few, but you know, like you look at some people and you're like, no.
Oh, you got no idea what I'm doing.
And that probably means that you're even more of a freak. I don't know.
We got a guy at work that's like, that dude's done missionary his whole life, and he's not complaining. He's not changing. You just know, like, you see the guy, and you're like, yep.
I'm telling you, that's not me, dude.
I trust you. I do.
I'm doing shit in there.
Don't send us anything.
I'm gonna send you guys a sizzle reel.
I think Danny's riff on Dan used to be like that. Dan was the type that left his socks on, and we couldn't break that imagery. Like once he said that, I was like, yes, 100%.
You don't need them toesies getting coldsies, baby. Yeah, depends on the time of year, I guess.
You leave them on in the summer. For some
you
weird
guys
reason.
Talk about this. I asked last week if anyone ever did it outside, and you said none of your.
I said yes. Yeah.
That was a box set, dude. We were trying to get new listeners. I was trying to like ease into it, trying to like be professional.
I'm doing shit inside,
Give them something
outside.
to look forward to.
Yeah. Ease into this bullshit.
I'm doing it the most out of the three of us.
Shut the fuck up.
If I'm getting
up.
it, it's wherever. You're not doing shit.
You guys got no idea what I'm up to.
You had 6 weeks of nothing.
Yeah. But I'm back now, baby. I'm making up for lost time.
Yeah.
I've been there. Twice.
They finally stop.
12 weeks.
They share a cigarette. Ponyboy says, you know what? Maybe if we just walk to the park, I'll cool off and I'll head back home. Maybe I'm just overreacting. They get to the
anybody
park.
else like, geez, you guys are up way too fucking late? Like, goddamn.
I am now. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, go to bed. Just go to fucking bed, guys.
Yeah.
Not me. I'm like, it's 2:30 in the morning. You should be fucking. I mean, what?
Should be standing.
These are prime fuck
on the
hours.
edge of that bed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Moon's out, cock's out. All right. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
He's fucking.
I got fucking to do.
Does that mean you don't have sex when it's a new moon and it's completely?
No, I keep my socks on.
Oh, okay.
Always keep your socks on during new moon.
No, you just put a towel down.
You just go for the Twilight movie as well. Towel. You just watch the sheets.
You don't do it on the bed, dipshit.
Look, everybody's got their Red Wings, okay?
You go outside for that part of it. And you don't have a cleanup.
Yeah, hold on, babe. I'm just going to spray off the deck.
Yeah.
Fucking dog's licking it again.
It's easier than making a bed.
You better hope that you left the fucking hose nozzle on shower. You don't want to jet your balls.
I just put mine up for the season.
Same. Got to winterize those pipes, baby.
Yeah.
I got the little covers. I got to go put those out there.
It's going to be cold Saturday.
I don't have to do it till Sunday.
Yeah, you've got a little longer. We got I put in one of those like 14-inch, not like goes all the way through the wall into the basement that shuts off. So theoretically, I wouldn't have to do anything, but I still, and then I put in a shut off too, because after that bathroom pipe burst when we first moved into the house, I'm terrified.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
That was brutal. Yeah.
Be safe.
They get to the park. Johnny's all excited because he found a cigarette butt on the ground. They're trying to light it up, hanging out on one of these playground pieces. And a tough Mustang shows up. Fuck, they must be looking for us. Johnny asks if he wants to run. Ponyboy says, no, this is our turf. Guys get out of the car. It is Bob and Randy again and a few other goons.
I think they had the right idea. Like, I think you could play it off. I mean, if you run, they're just instantly going to chase you.
I don't think running is the name of the game, though. Like, you're a greaser, you better stand there and
I mean, if you
talk
run,
some shit.
If you run, then they're like, we got more people than they do. I think you could have like played it better.
Yeah, because this exchange here is really what puts Bob over the edge. So Bob and Randy are fucked up. Bob says, you guys know what greasers are? Poor white trash with long, greasy hair. You know what a Sosha is? White trash with Mustangs and Madras. He spits at Bob. This fucks him up. Bob and the goons take off. They start running him. They grab him pretty quick. They push Johnny out of the way, and then they grab Ponyboy, and they take him to the fountain at the center of the park. Start dunking him. They're drowning him. They're pouring out their booze on him. They're laughing. They're having a fun time. And
It's
then
a normal Saturday night, baby, yeah.
I don't know if it's the first, but it's one of many split diaper shots here, and we see
hell yeah, dude, they all look good.
Yeah, we see Johnny pull out his switchblade from his back pocket, and then Ponyboy's perspective being dunked, the fountain water starts to turn red.
I like the way they do the effect. It's like they just kind of overlay it across the. It looks like somebody like colored over the film.
Mm-hmm. It has a fresh Technicolor feel, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He was. Coppola says that he was very inspired by Gone with the Wind, not just like he wanted to bring that sort of vibe, thematic and color, and everything to it.
At the hotel that the cast stayed at, they had a fountain, and supposedly the guys would recreate this scene multiple times and cause much chaos at the hotel.
Ponyboy wakes up. He's laying outside the fountain. Johnny's at his head, reclined up against the fountain. He's covered in blood, his knife even more so. Bob lays motionless a few feet away. I killed him. I killed that boy. He was going to kill you. I had to do it. Ponyboy's going to be sick. He gets up over to the merry-go-round. Vomits.
I won't look at you.
And it's good that he does it by the merry-go-round because statistically speaking, that's like a merry-go-round in terms of like vomit density, right? Airplanes, dorm room, bathrooms, merry-go-rounds. Those are the places people are fucking throwing up.
I guess depending on where the merry-go-round is, because if it's in like a theme park, I feel like there's a lot more opportunity to throw up elsewhere.
Well, and that's prime people still smelling that shit while they're playing on it. Just
Dan,
wafting it.
Dan, have you gone to a Six Flags recently? I don't think I could do it now. Like, I think I would vomit if I got on a roller coaster.
I went to Silver Dollar City in Tourist USA, Branson, Missouri. And I got on it It was like a...
We've given away Branson and Lebanon on this episode, so listen for one more city there, listener, and you might be able to triangulate Dan's location.
Might send me some weird stuff in the mail. And it was like a balloon that just kind of came up and down and went, and it circled. I was like, yeah, I got this. And I got on it with the kid, and yeah, we got up there, dude. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'm not as young as I used to be. Yeah, I can't do that shit anymore. And Rach at the time was pregnant, so she's like, yeah, I can't get on that shit. So I had to ride all the fucking rides. And
God
my daughter,
damn, dude.
My daughter has sat in the front row of the Screaming Eagle at Six Flags. So she's insane. She loves to go on the roller coasters. I'm like, fuck.
I don't think I could do it, dude.
Got a fucking headache and shit. I'm like, God damn it. Is there a beer here?
I don't know. I feel like you're kind of making the case that you're not trying fucking wild sex positions if you don't think you got the
this different
stomach to ride.
I'm not doing a fucking death roll.
Yeah, I'm not moving at 70 miles an hour.
The boys are in a panic.
I'm doing shit.
Boys are in an absolute panic, and they decide they got to run to the one person that they could trust in this type of situation. They head to a local bar where Dally is crashing. They quickly explain to him that Johnny killed a Soch, and he's immediately cool with this. He's like, all right, let me fucking get you an actual shirt, and here's $50, and here's a gun. And he very quickly tells them, all right, you're going to get the 315 to Windricksville. He tells them about an old church up on Jay Mountain. It's got a pump in the back, so you don't have to worry about water. Get some food as soon as you get there before the story spreads, and I'll come up in a week when everything's cooled off.
It's crazy that he just knows all the train schedules in town.
It's like a dirtbag way, though, right? Like
I guess so.
Man, that's the train he came in on.
Mm-hmm.
We quickly see the duo hop the train, and then they cut to Windricksville, where they hike their way up to the church. They are exhausted. Now, mind you, this whole movie so far has taken place in less than 8 hours.
There's a really funny part where it cuts to them when they first get to the country where the church is, and I think Ponyboy has a piece of straw in his mouth. Yeah. They are instantly assimilating to. We're out in the woods now.
In the book, they have to ask for directions, and I believe Johnny is the one that tells Ponyboy, my skin is too dark. They won't think that I'm like a country boy, so you've got to do all the talking. So that might be a reference to that. They stop a farmer on a tractor,
mm-hmm.
and he's the one that tells them where it's at. So, yeah, they get to this church, they walk around for a little bit, and then they immediately crash out on the floor and finally get some sleep. And we're going to take another break. All right, Ponyboy wakes up. He's imagining that he's back at home. Derry's making breakfast. Eventually, he's back into the real world. He's stuck in that church, and he sees a note left in the dust on the floor. Johnny returns with some bread and cold cuts, smokes, cards, peroxide, and a copy of Gone with the Wind. Ponyboy asks what the peroxide's about, and Johnny convinces him that they need to cut their hair, and they're going to bleach Ponyboys.
Why just Ponyboys? Johnny did the crime.
Well, because Johnny's complexion, to bleach his hair, it would look pretty obvious that it's not natural.
It doesn't look natural on the other guy. He's got my eyebrows.
I think so. They do the haircuts with Johnny's fucking murder blade, which would be absolutely awful. They do the peroxide. They cut to Ponyboy looking at his reflection in the pond in the back. And he's just super sad. Oh, yeah, this looks real tough. And quite honestly, I think it does look tougher. I think he looks more of a psycho than with his natural greased up hair.
He looks like a guy on the run from something.
So
I think it looks more obvious, yeah. Like that
Johnny
kid did something wrong.
Johnny bought the copy of Gone with the Wind because he remembers that Ponyboy once said that he wanted to read it, and they thought it could be something to pass the time. And that's what they do. They spend the week hanging out. They try to catch a rabbit. They play some cards. Ponyboy reads the book out loud to him, and they smoke a shit ton, and they eat a lot more bologna.
It's a shitload of cigarettes.
Yes.
Like the bad cigarettes.
That's like where 4/5 of their money went was smokes.
I seen a guy today come out with a carton of smokes and like 8 scratch-offs.
Eagles.
I don't know what they were. I knew it was a carton.
It was $112.
And I was just like, dude just got paid. Like,
yep. Big thing cut out. They do a little bit of it, but in the book it's much deeper. So Johnny has like a real fascination with like the Southern officers in Gone with the Wind. He's like impressed by like their chivalry and their politeness, and he mentions a lot that it reminds him of Dally. And in this, you start to uncover a lot more of the affection that Johnny has for Dallas. And Ponyboy admits in his narration that he's personally not a fan of Dallas. He thinks he's a little too much even for the greaser mentality. And he's kind of confused on why Johnny appreciates him so much. One night while listening to Ponyboy read to him, Johnny passes out, and Ponyboy has to yell at him like, "Hey man, watch your smoke." Then finally,
old school cigarettes without that thing that makes them go out.
Finally, it's been a week. They wake up one morning to
it's all better. It's better to smoke that way. You got like a danger element.
Oh, well, but it's like more pure, the tobacco. I mean, they haven't sprayed it down with chemicals that stop it from burning.
Shot in 1965. The cigarettes were better. The denim was fucking standing up straight.
You mean set in 65?
Yeah, it's supposed to take place in 65.
Yeah. Sorry, you said shot in 65, and it confused the shit out of me for a second. I mean,
it's pretty old.
Yeah, he was 65 when he made it, probably.
If we could still get 65 cigarettes, I'd be puffing away right now, dude.
Are we just going to hit like 55 and start smoking cigarettes again?
If I make it to 75, I'll start smoking again.
You gotta 65. Give it 10.
I could meet in the middle at 70.
I look every time
Do you guys honestly believe that you'll make it to 70?
I feel like I'm gonna be one of those guys that's like, it doesn't bother me that I'm gonna die. I get that. I'm gonna be the dude that's like, yeah, 92. Like, fuck. God damn it.
I don't think I'll make it that long. I think I'll make it just over 70. I think I'll die at like 72.
Bones?
From a self-inflicted wound.
Gotcha.
That's my real big concern. I don't know. I see a long, drawn out, painful cancer sort of process, like, that I'll inevitably get. Maybe I'll get lucky and the treatments will be better in the next decade or so. Or it's just one of those like, heart explodes, done, bam. So I don't know. I don't think I have any desire to be so old that my life is just sleep and TV, where you're just sort of observing the world around you.
Like, when will it come?
Yeah. I think I would rather just heart attack go,
I feel like I'll be the guy where everybody around me is suffering, and I'll be like,
yeah.
should've been me.
I think that I think looking at us, I think that's what it'll be. I think you'll be the one that just fucking lives on, and you'll be fucking ornery into your 80s, and you'll just start grabbing titties and stuff and just be creepy old man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably
still driving.
Yeah, I'm going to get cancer, deal with it, beat it, and then it's going to come back. And I feel like Kron's probably going to be the one that's just like, damn, dude, fucking heart exploded,
Yeah, I could easily see that happening.
Yeah.
Goes to sleep one night and just doesn't wake up.
Oh, that's just a dream, right?
Like, you'll get that death.
Does that happen? I feel like you wake up, right? And you're like, oh, my fucking heart hurts.
I don't think some people do.
Not really. It's more of like a gasping sort of, like when my grandmother went, my grandfather heard her because her body was like, but she was not remotely conscious. So plus everybody has sleep apnea. So like, it's probably not helping either.
In the back of my head, when people are like, oh, he went peacefully in his sleep, it's like, did that guy wake up for a split second, like fucking shrieking, and then that was it?
Well, maybe the person lying next to them doesn't want to admit he thrashed for 15 minutes and I thought he was just having trouble getting to sleep.
See, I think it's more like that, dude. When you hear died peacefully in their sleep, I think it's like a fucking...
It's a cover-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, no, he didn't die jerking off with a fucking belt around his neck,
Mm-hmm.
My wife is never going to know I'm dying over there. I am a goddamn Tasmanian devil just spinning around in that bed every night. Sexually.
With
well,
your socks on.
You need to get another race car bed.
Another lady in there?
And just put her... What, one on each side? Then you're just bouncing?
Side by side?
Bang, bang, bang.
Vroom, vroom, dude.
They're watching the sunrise. Johnny joins Pony Boy, and Johnny mentions, you know what? I never really noticed this stuff until I started hanging out with you, The colors, it's nice. The purples and the golds, the silver and the golds, I never really noticed that stuff, Pony Boy. I think I love you. I think I'm in love with you.
Oh, that's where Dan got it.
Yeah. And this prompts Pony Boy to recite something that he remembered. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaf's a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. Johnny's like, dude, that's what I was fucking thinking, man. What is that? Pony Boy's like, it's Robert
Hunter
Frost.
S. Thompson.
He's like, I always remembered it, but I didn't know what he meant by it, but I do now.
Do you guys have a poem memorized? Could you do one poem from memory?
There once was a man from Nantucket.
I don't think that one counts. Like a
that's a limerick, right?
Do your boobs hang low? Can you tie 'em in a knot? Can you tie 'em in a bow?
All right, so that's 3 no's. Maybe we should all try to memorize one poem.
No, we should.
I don't know. It could be like something I say whenever I'm thrashing to death.
Here you go. Hello, my friend. We meet again. It's been a while. Where should we begin?
Oh, Captain, my Captain. If I recited a poem to you guys would throw a fucking empty beer bottle at me.
Yeah, but secretly I would be like, fuck, dude. Dane just said all the shit I'm thinking about. I would throw a beer bottle at you, though.
I know.
No man is an island, entire to itself. Every man is a piece of a continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as if a manor of thy friends, or of thine own were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never sin to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee.
All right, Dean, so that's one free beer bottle we can chuck at Bones the next time we're all in the same room.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4 so far.
Dally finally shows up. He tells him that the heat's subsided enough. He's got a letter for Ponyboy. It's from Soda.
If you're a dreamer, come in. If you're a dreamer, a wisher, a liar, a hoper, a prayer, a magic bean buyer. If you're a pretender, come sit by my fire. For we have some flack golden tells to spin. Come in, come in.
Seasons don't fear the reaper. Nor do the wind, nor the sun, or the rain.
I get nothing for the Creed, and he fucking busts out Blue Oyster Cult.
People know it, dude. I'm connecting.
I did Shal Silverstein.
Like that, the door was left cracked. I overheard the woman with a British accent speak to let it out. Why not as a woman a long way we have come, baby? Finger deep or a foot canal, one suspect.
Oh, finger deep, dude.
Whoa.
The land of my
canals.
doctor, she
Palm
said.
sexy as hell.
Land of the lost, my head swelled at what I heard. Ever since I passed, I remember. The mascara around my brown eyes made me sore. The mirror back, then was my friend, I sigh, no more. Like those brown paper bags that hold fish, I won't forget what my mom said. Quiet child, if Da should over the next year here, be it a finger or a six-toed foot. Being not the first, the doctor said with a smile. Next to go in, I pulled out. It's the larger fish that gives up the best fight. An unnatural blonde with red hair. That's titled The Perfect Vagina by James McLean. Pretty sure I did not write or read that in the correct meter. I apologize to James McLean for his acclaimed work entitled The Perfect Vagina.
Scholar. You probably should move on before I go get the Charles Bukowski books.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll really fucking kill myself.
Oh, we should just do a fucking episode where we read his poetry.
The world is a dead Christmas tree.
And I shoved my fingers in her cunt.
All right. The letter that Dally gives Ponyboy is from Soda. He apologizes for Derry's slap. He says, hey, he didn't mean nothing by it, but we miss you. Can you come back home and turn yourselves in? Dally says that he was pulled in by the local cops and that he lied about what he knew, saying that from what he thought, he thought these two greasers were headed to Texas. All the greasers back home, they're all worked up. 2-Bit was even going to go to Texas to fucking look for him. That's how good Dolly played this thing. So, knowing that they're starving. Dally. Sorry. Yeah, Dolly.
Fucking elephant
fucking
with
melted
spindle
clocks
legs?
and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Dallas takes him to Dairy Queen. Did you guys notice Sophia Coppola creeping them out, asking for a dime?
I didn't know that was Sophia Coppola, but...
All right. So in this discussion in this fucking Dairy Queen parking lot, Dally's like, hey, you know, we're going to have a big ass rumble with the Socias tomorrow night. And also we got a spy You know that girl Cherry? I think she was kind of into me. But anyway, she's feeding us some information. So, and one of the things that she said was that she's going to testify that you guys acted in self-defense. And this is enough for Johnny to go, well, then we're going back home. Because this isn't fair to Ponyboy. He's got family missing him. My parents don't give a shit. I should go back, turn myself in. It's self-defense. We'll be fine. Dallas is like, no, I don't want you to end up like me. You got to stay out of jail. All right? I set you up in a nice place. This would all mean nothing if we go back and turn yourselves in. But they push on. But I guess they need to go back to the church to get what's left of the bologna cigarettes and the Gone with the Wind.
It's a lot of cigarettes, man, yeah.
Because when they get back there, it's on fucking fire. Not only that, there's a school trip there.
Oh, this church is on fire.
One of the teachers starts screaming that some of the kids are missing. This fat teacher's like, they're fine. She's like,
fuck them.
No, you idiot. I think they're inside.
And the priest said, you think we got time?
Dallas is like, all right, we got to get the fuck out of here. But Ponyboy and Johnny, they jump out of the fucking convertible. They run into the church. They start kicking it down, or kicking their way in. They grab some of the kids. One of them bites Ponyboy while he's trying to save him.
That's kind of
Dally,
fuck, dude.
Yeah. Dally finally is like, all right, fuck it. And he gets to the window. They start passing the kids to Dally. He's getting them out. They get all the kids out. He starts screaming at him. Ponyboy just gets out, kind of catches a flame when he does. Dally has to throw him to the ground.
Was there no one teaching what to do if a fire happens in 1965? Because I don't think standing against the side of the building is the best strategy.
The logic of, you don't want to be next to something that is flammable, but I guess also being in the middle of an old church on fire, you run the risk of the roof falling down, which is what it does to Johnny, right, as he's about to come out.
But all these kids are just like, they're not moving. They're just like, I guess I'll fucking stand here and burn to death.
Frozen in fear, Kron, in a fire.
All right, if my house caught on fire right now, I think I would look for an exit.
Yeah, you're in your 30s, bro.
This was one of the,
if an animal instinctively knows to run out of a burning building.
Oh, hot fire burn baby. So, yeah, you do have a point.
Babies ain't squirrels, dude. They can't climb up walls. They can't look for little holes. They don't know.
This is one of the things in the movie that you always knew happened in the movie, even though you didn't see the movie or read the book. You always knew, oh, shit, there was a fire and, one of the outsiders dies. Yeah. Diablo spoiler alert.
So anyway, Ponyboy gets out. Roof collapses on Johnny as he's trying to get out. Dallas jumps in, goes after Johnny. Cut to back of an ambulance. The fat teacher who was like, fuck those kids. He's riding with Ponyboy and he's like, dude, what are you, a fucking superhero? Ponyboy's like, no, I'm a greaser. This guy knows what this means, apparently. He's like, what? His fucking mind's blown. Piece of shit kid like you saving other kids? What the hell? I'm confused. Ponyboy's asking about
your morals from, boy.
Yeah. Johnny and Dallas, they says they're in the other ambulance. They're following us. They're fine. At the hospital, fat teacher gives Ponyboy some shit for smoking, even though he himself is sitting right there smoking. It was nice of the hospital to wipe off and clean up Ponyboy, all the soot and shit.
Doesn't that teacher say I've been smoking longer than you, so it's okay for me?
Yeah. He's he's basically saying my recommendation is for you to not smoke because I smoke and it sucks and I'm still smoking. Johnny and Dallas are wheeled by. Johnny is unconscious and Dallas threatens Ponyboy. You ever do a dumb stunt like that again, I'll fucking kill you. Daryl and Soda show up. Once again, proving why Patrick Swayze is one of the best actors of all time, and he's sorely missed. He immediately breaks down in tears at the sight of his youngest brother. The three of them embrace. I thought we lost you like we did Mom and Dad. They take Ponyboy home. The next morning, Ponyboy is making breakfast when 2-Bit and Steve show up. They toss Ponyboy around a little bit, makes him spill his eggs. He's all pissed.
I would be too.
Yeah.
He had just got him finished.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he kind of like just tosses him through the house.
Baby, I hear that Steve's a coming.
Who do we think is his standout performance in this movie?
What is a boy to do? Tossed eggs all over my face.
The standout performance?
Is it Dylan?
Nah. Well, I think he's trying the hardest. I think Howell is pretty good carrying the material. The person that is doing it with absolute ease is Swayze.
I don't think he's got enough, though.
No.
He doesn't have enough.
That's
of
not
the
his
movie.
fault.
Yeah.
Cruz is trying. Cruz is definitely... I think he actually auditioned for Dallas's part.
I think it was maybe 3 parts.
Okay. Rob Lowe, the bummer is, I think I joked last week that he was miscast. The problem is just they cut a lot of what you would want Rob Lowe to do. I think Ralph Macchio's good.
Yeah, who plays
You say
Johnny?
Macchio.
Ralph Macchio.
Macchio.
Yeah, that's the standout performance in this movie to me. I do agree that Swayze is like the most just guy fucking showed up. He probably nailed it. Take one. And then,
Say Macchio, Dylan, Swayze.
You like Dylan?
I think I like his performance.
I'd maybe just switch those two.
I'd
go Swayze then Dylan.
It's a hard performance to be the shit of a shit group that is supposed to be a shit group, I guess. And he's the shit of the shit.
Yeah. A big difference is the narrative switch of the book to the movie. In the book, you don't have a cutaway, those cutaway scenes like you do in the movie where the focus is Dally. All of that information is secondhand. Like you don't see him rob the store. It's like through phone calls and stuff like that. It's a lot of cursory information. And you can tell that they feel like they need to pump as much of him in there for his death to mean something, like his relationship with Johnny. But if you cut all of those scenes with Johnny basically praising him, like there's no initial meet. It's just Dallas doesn't want Johnny to be like him. There's no real connection beforehand. But in terms of the performance, I think he just stands out to me as he's trying to be a Brando. And when everybody else is just trying to be kind of natural. Like Emilio is like super, like, I feel like the part coming up where he's just fucking riffing on the socias, that's like just Emilio riffing. So I would put him in that Swayze category of just not even having to try, really. But we all agree, Macchio, best performance.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Hey, we agreed on something. Feels good.
It doesn't happen often.
Little beer for breakfast there, 2-Bit. 2-Bit grabs a beer out of the fridge. Did you guys notice the chocolate cake?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Want some.
That is a Curtis family tradition. So they always have chocolate cake for breakfast. It's like a staple in their house.
Like
I don't know
every
why.
morning?
Every morning, yeah. If they're out of chocolate cake, Soda Pop will quickly make one the night before, so they have one for breakfast. The rule in their house is
could not do this.
First one who wakes up makes breakfast, and then the other two have to clean up. It's like one of the few like traditional things that they have like structured in their house. And one of those is chocolate cake.
I don't know. I mean, sausage and eggs or, seems more reasonable.
I mean, you got biscuits, you got chocolate milk. Throw that shit together, it's chocolate cake, right?
I think my whole day would be fucked if I just ate a giant piece of chocolate cake in the morning.
You guys, Are you guys familiar with that shithead's famous chocolate cake bit? Dad is great, gives us chocolate cake.
No.
Okay, then we'll blow over that.
I don't know what that is.
We don't need to talk about him. All right,
It's
so
in your algorithm.
dairy and soda, they got to go to work today. Two-Bit says that he'll keep an eye on Pony Boy. Dairy's a little concerned, hey, you've been through a lot. And specifically, if you smoke more than a pack today, I'll skin you. But the actual working men, they go off, and then Two-Bit and Pony Boy, they go to the hospital to see Johnny. They got to hitchhike their way there.
Did you guys ever get up to a pack a day?
Yeah.
Damn. That's rough. I probably did a half pack a day.
I was going to say, maybe a half.
It wasn't for long. All right, on their way to the hospital, they're stopped by one of those tough Mustangs. Rules of the Rumble mean that there can't be any jazz beforehand, so they're not too worried. But this is Randy, Bob's best friend, the deceased Bob's best friend, and he's there to talk with Pony Boy. Now, in the film, this scene makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
That made sense.
Oh, well, in the book, the major thing here is Randy confessing to him, I'm not fighting. I'm not going to be in the Rumble. I'm done with all this shit. It's kind of Randy kind of asking for forgiveness from Pony Boy. He basically says, Bob was a shithead. I totally agree, but he was my best friend, and there was a good side to him. And I wonder if they felt like they didn't need that because that's what Cherry goes on about later on. But it's ultimately stripped away. On my rewatch of this, like, what is this?
Yeah, he pretty much says the Rumble doesn't really even matter.
Yeah, but I think that's the point of it, is he's like, we're going to do this shit because that's what we're locked into. But he's kind of being like, you and me, like between the two of us, we know this shit is useless. Like, it doesn't matter. You had this event that changed you. I had an event that changed me. But we're going to go through with it anyway. That's kind of the way I took it.
Yeah. You pulling out him saying that I'm not going to do it, I think changes it. It'd be different if he showed up. If he says, like, this is fucking stupid. You and I are cool as we can be. And preemptively apologizing. And then he showed up and kicked his ass. It would have made sense. But this is it for him the rest of the movie. Plus, and I will say they try to do some of the, I read about you in the paper. How come? Why did you do that? I wouldn't have thought a greaser would have been able to do that, save those kids. And then he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. There's like, he's trying to sort of connect to him, but I think it really falls flat for me. Anyway, so while he's in the Mustang talking with Randy, Two-Bit's kind of hanging out with the other fucking socias and ripping on their high water pants and shit like that. It's just Emilio riffing. It's kind of fun. They get to the hospital. Johnny's barely conscious. He can barely react to Two-Bit showing off the story about them in the paper. And Johnny mentions Gone with the Wind, the book. And he says, yeah, Two-Bit's like, I'll go to the gift shop. I'll get him another copy. Kron, did you have this speech prepared? Your audition tape?
No. Oh yeah, that's what that guy does from the Mr. Kubrick.
Yeah. Not even on crutches.
Yeah. Fuck.
You want to know something, Pony Boy?
I ain't gonna walk again.
I used to talk about killing myself all the time, man. I don't want to die now. It ain't long enough. 16 years ain't gonna be long enough. Hell, I wouldn't mind it so much if there wasn't so much stuff I ain't done yet. So many damn things I ain't seen or nothing. It's not fair, you know what? That time when we were in Wintersville was the only time I've ever been away from our neighborhood. Ah! Nurse comes in. Johnny, her mom's here. He's like, fuck that bitch. I don't want to see her. She's going to come in here and yell at me for causing all these problems. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see her. He starts screaming in agony. Nurse kicks 2-Bit and Ponyboy out. So they go see Dallas. He's fucking shit-talking the nurse. Get out of here. I'm tired of fucking looking at you. Get out of here. You're bothering me. They sort of hint at 2-Bit's theft because he tosses
nurse
him.
Here is S.E. Hinton. That's
Oh,
the
really?
author of our book here.
Oh, that's
Yes.
cool. Yeah, 2-Bit tosses him something, and he's like, I swiped a little gift for you, and Dallas just doesn't give a shit. Yeah, cool, and just sets it right down. Asks for a smoke, asks about Johnny. They tell him he's not doing good, and he mentions the Rumble. He's like, I can't believe I'm going to miss the fucking Rumble, man. It ain't no Rumble without me. He asks for 2-Bit's blade. Now, in the book, he hides the blade underneath his pillow.
Oh, it's an old New Orleans tradition.
Mm-hmm. Cut the pain in half.
Mm-hmm.
But in the movie, is he supposed to be like cutting his wrist a little bit? I didn't know if he was like trying to cut his medical bracelet off so he could sneak out. I think he's like cutting into his wrist, kind of like he's pissed off and doesn't know what to do.
I couldn't tell. I thought it was one of those two things. He's either like so worked up that he's cutting himself, or he is trying to like, I'll cut these fucking tubes out and then we can go rumble.
Yeah. But he says,
I kind of took it as he wanted to get out of there, yeah.
But he says, we're going to get even with those socias, man. We're going to get even with the man. We're going to do it for Johnny, man. Do it for Johnny. Outside the hospital, Ponyboy's starting to get a little sick. 2-Bit's like, all right, you better fucking keep this quiet, though, because Daryl's going to beat the shit out of me if he finds out that you fight in the Rumble tonight and you're sick, okay? And he mentions here, hey, by the way, the only reason your brother's a greaser is us. Like, he would be a Sosha otherwise, which is a massive thing in the book. He had college scholarships. He was an incredible athlete, super smart. It was the death of the parents that ultimately kind of left him being anchored by his two brothers. So they take the bus back home. Along the way, they meet up with Cherry. She asks about Johnny. Ponyboy's like,
she came back into the movie. Personally.
Yeah. She asks about Johnny. Ponyboy's like, why don't you go see him? She's like, I can't do that. He killed fucking Bob. He's like, well, we don't need your fucking charity then. She's like, it wasn't charity, you fucking idiot. Like, I can't go see him. You don't know how this shit works yet? Also, she mentions that the Soshas have agreed to the terms and there will be no weapons at the Rumble. We're talking skin on skin.
Yes.
Classic.
The way
Can you
it
see the
should
sunset from the south side? Very good. You can see it from the north side, too. In the book, it's east-west. I don't know why they changed it to north-south. What's the fucking deal?
be. Oklahoma thing, maybe.
Well, the
Coppola
east-west
has to orient himself to like how Sicily matches up with Italy and shit.
Yeah, but the east-west thing kind of makes more thematic sense to the sunset, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you're more in the east, the idea would be like you don't get to see it as good as the west side, right? But I don't know.
And Coppola right now is going through I
Divorce?
hate The Godfather and Godfather Part 2. So this is his answer to that.
Maybe he's just doing that so people will be like, Godfather's great. You're
It
great.
is.
Mm-hmm.
It's what made him. And he kind of wanted to get away from that.
It's like when I fish for compliments, like when I in our text messages, like I should quit the show. I suck on the show, and you guys are like, yeah. And then I keep coming back. At the house, the greasers, they're prepping for this Rumble.
Pulling me back in.
They're playing cards. They're arm wrestling. Derry's doing some warm-up push-ups. Swayze looking absolutely shredded. He's questioning whether or not Ponyboy should be in the Rumble, given how sickly and tense he is. But Soda, he goes to bat for him. He's like, come on, man. It's just skin on skin. Ain't nobody get hurt in a skin on skin Rumble. And the crew blast off. They head to the lot. Some other grease.
I couldn't remember this movie. I kept thinking someone was going to bring a gun to the Rumble. And you know what?
Were you confusing the Warriors?
Streets of Fire.
If I had been in the Rumble, I would have brought a gun.
Some of the other greaser gangs, they're already there waiting. One of them, Tim Shepard, he's impressed with Ponyboy. Like, hey, you're that kid who fucking killed that Soch, huh? Fucking hardcore. And the Mustangs start to roll in. The biggest of the Soches, he's one of Daryl's oldest friends. He says, I'll take you.
Yeah, just like Dally, like another fucking loser gets out in his Letterman jacket. And he's like, hey, I know I'm 8 years older than everyone here, but I'm de facto leader.
Well, at least they fought each other. It wouldn't have been very fair if he took Ponyboy.
Yeah, they're lucky Tom Waits didn't show up to the Rumble and fucking start bossing everyone around.
Don't you know a Rumble ain't a Rumble without me? Dallas fucking runs in from the woods. Ponyboy gets sucker punched at this, and the Rumble is on. And boys, does the rain start and the mud fucking flow. Swayze and Cruz look great. Soda and Daryl, they're doing what they can to hold on. Ponyboy's worked over a little bit, but eventually the Soches, they start to run off. Victory.
That first hit on Ponyboy was real. He did get knocked out. Which I did when I watched it. I was like, God damn, that looked like
it looks legit. Yeah. In the book, it's Daryl who gets sucker punched. That guy punches him. Yeah.
I know there were multiple injuries when the Rumble was filmed. I think Cruz had to have some dental surgery the day after.
That's how he got those perfect teeth.
Yeah, that sounds like hey, really hit me so I can fix my teeth and blame it on this.
Yeah, do them all. Not just the one.
He looks fucking good, man. When Cruz is like flexing in his cut off like denim garage grease monkey vest, the arms look good, you know?
This is his last supporting role until Magnolia in 1999.
Damn.
That's insane.
What a career. And then C. Thomas Howell went on to do Soul Man.
I did look at his Letterboxd today, and I was like, you know, like, for being in this, and it didn't really rocket ship like I thought it would.
Well, it's like...
Because he does good.
Hitcher?
Yeah, he did Hitcher
Hitcher,
too,
Soul
well,
Man, Outsiders.
I mean, we're
Some
looking at...
He might have been in some Star Wars or some shit.
We're looking at that with, like, today's glasses on. I mean, you could have easily had this movie come out and 95% of the cast didn't go anywhere. It's incredible that they all, like...
Excellent point,
shot
Kron.
off.
Excellent point.
They were all stars. I think this is Rob Lowe's first film.
Yeah, this is a movie of, like, it's all A-star talent.
Whoever cast this movie has to be the best casting agent of all time, right?
Yes.
Like, they threw a fucking perfect game casting this.
Yeah, the fact that even Cruz is like a C-tier actor in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's Tom Cruise. I mean,
Dallas is rushing Ponyboy to the hospital. They gotta see Johnny. They gotta tell him that they won this fucking Rumble. But Ponyboy's all beat to shit, and Dallas is speeding. Gets pulled over by a motorcycle cop. He plays beat up. Dallas says, "Oh, this kid fell off his motorcycle. I'm taking him to the hospital." Ponyboy's performance is so good, the cop offers to give them an escort. They get to the fucking hospital in record time, man.
Nice.
They show up. Johnny is, well, he's not doing good. Oh, sorry. I almost skipped this beautiful monologue here from Dallas that I got ready. I was crazy, you know that, Pony? I was crazy for wanting Johnny to stay out of trouble. If he was smart like me, he wouldn't be in this mess. If he was smart like me, he wouldn't have ran into that church, man. You better wise up, Pony. You better wise up, man. You get tough like me, and you don't get hurt. You watch out for yourself, and nothing could touch you, man.
Bravo.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Did I ruin it by hitting the desk?
No, I liked it.
It'll come out in the edit. We'll see.
You get tough like me, and you don't get hurt. All right, they do see Johnny, but they get there, and they tell him, hey, man, we beat those Socha's ass. And all Johnny can muster is, it's useless. Fighting ain't any good. This fucking pisses Dallas off. What the fuck are you talking about? Fighting ain't any good. And with his last breath, Johnny whispers to Pony Boy, stay gold, Pony Boy. Stay gold. Dead. Dallas can't take it. He runs off. Pulls a gun on the EMT on the way out. Pony Boy slowly makes his way home.
It's awesome that you can just pull a gun and people are like, you're crazy, man.
Yeah, I think the guy's like, you fucking kids. Pony Boy slowly makes his way back to the house. Gets there. And the greasers, they're sharing their wounds. Pony Boy comes in. He tells the gang that Johnny is dead. And also that Dally's gone. I think he's going to blow. We cut to Dally in a grocery store. He's looking through some newspapers or some magazines. Store clerk's like, hey, man, you going to buy anything? What the hell? Dallas starts fucking with him. He starts ripping these magazines up. You know, if you do that, you got to pay for them. Dallas comes up, pulls his gun on the clerk. Don't do it. Oh, my God. Don't fucking do it. You fucking kids. Oh, my God. Please don't fucking shoot. Blah, blah, blah. Dally makes him give all the money in the till. He runs off. The clerk shoots at him. Dally gets to a phone. He calls the house. He tells the gang, hey, man, I fucking held up the store, all right? I need you to hide me. Meet me in the park, okay? When he hangs up the phone, we see that he was bleeding. Derry tells the rest of the group, hey, Dally's in trouble. We got to hide him. We got to get to the pork. Got to get to the pork, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Dally's running down the street. The cops are just slowly chasing him, OJ style, catching up to him at every intersection. They block him off. We're in the park. Ninja 3 style, these cops just surround him. Dally pulls out his unloaded gun, by the way. I forgot to mention that he mentions that it's unloaded. Aims it at the cops, and they just fucking unload. Right. As the gang is running down the street, they see Dally just murdered in the park. They're screaming, he's just a kid. It's not loaded. Too late. Dally is done. Pony Boy sits in his room. He finds a note from Johnny in that copy of Gone with the Wind. All right, you ready for number 3?
Let's do it.
Pony Boy, I asked the nurse to give you this book so you could finish it. It's worth saving those little kids. Their lives are worth more than mine. They have more to live for. Tell Dally it was worth it. I'm just going to miss you guys. I've been thinking about it. And that poem, that guy that wrote it, he meant you're gold when you're a kid, like green. When you're a kid, everything is new. Dawn. It's just like the way you dig sunsets, Pony. That's gold. Keep it that way. It's a good way to be. I want you to tell Dally to look at one. I don't think he's ever really seen a sunset. There's still a lot of good in the world. Tell Dally. I don't think he knows. Your buddy, Johnny. Pony Boy starts to write down his story. The end.
Fuck.
Kind of fucked
Did it
it
get
up there. I fucked
Did
it
it
up.
get dusty?
It's in a different font because I copy and pasted.
Yeah,
What?
what a heartbreaker, dude.
What'd you ask, Dan?
Did it get dusty in any of your guys' rooms?
You know what got me this time was Derry crying at the hospital. I think that, no. I mean, I was familiar enough with the story, stay gold, Pony Boy. It's kind of a joke at this point, but
Was it when they showed him the newspaper article?
When he cries?
I think, yeah. Or is it when it's to stay golden? I think it's the first time he's in the hospital where he's like kind of, where they got to show him.
Yeah.
I think that was really, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. And he can barely breathe and shit, and he starts to hack up. Yeah. Before we jump into further research, I would like to say, so the book, the narrative continues. Ponyboy basically gets a massive concussion in the Rumble. Like, his head is beyond fucked up. So much so that he starts to lose track of reality and time. So he is not aware, or he is telling himself that Johnny is not dead and that he was the one that stabbed Bob. So he is telling Soda and Daryl, like, Johnny's just gone. I'm the one who killed Bob. Why does everybody think that Johnny killed Bob? They have Ponyboy on bed rest for weeks. Randy comes by the house to apologize once again before, I think he's leaving town. He's like, I'm done with this shit. He mentions Johnny and Bob. He starts to freak out again and say, why does everybody think Johnny killed him? I'm the one that killed him. Daryl kicks Randy out. You come to find out that they're kind of like protecting him. A bunch of cops come by the house, bunch of like government, like CIS, like CPS, Child Protective Services people are interviewing him all the time. They do have to go to court. He's the last person to take the stand. Cherry, Randy, a bunch of other people testify that it was self-defense. Johnny killed him. He, in his head, is like, why are these people lying? He gets on the stand. They ask about his home life. He wants to talk about Johnny, but the judge purposely does not. Then there's this whole subplot reveal of Soda and his chick. Ponyboy admits that, okay, the whole time I was kind of dreaming, like the way that I would dream before. I was hoping that Johnny wasn't dead and that I was the one who killed him and blah, blah, blah. Soda reads his letter, gets all sad, runs away. Daryl and Ponyboy run after him. They're back in the park, and then they have kind of like another bonding moment because basically, so the whole time he's like fucked up in the head. He starts to fail math and English and all this stuff, and then he snaps out of it and says, all right, I'll try. And his English teacher says, I will pass you if you write an essay about something. And then after his little make-up with his brothers in the park, he decides, oh, this is what I'm going to write about. So that's what he's writing at the opening of this movie, is he's writing this for a school report.
Wow,
I know,
it's even more depressing.
Yes, yeah. And I know I didn't do it justice for anybody that's super familiar with the material, but it is really weird because when I looked down at the audiobook and the rumble happened, I was like, there's still half the book left. It does much more in terms of like building out the other characters, like Steve's home life, 2-Bit's home life, the fascination of like 2-Bit just stealing. He sounds much taller and gruffer, like in the descriptions. 2-Bit, like Emilio, in terms of like physical difference from what you imagine in the book, is totally different. I think that's it. I think that's everything that's like top of mind different.
Gentlemen, upon further research, this was released on March 25th of 1983. At the cinema that week, you could catch Spring Break, a sex comedy.
I know where I would have been.
The Sword and the Stone by Disney.
Not there.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. But I think at this point, it was just what was released in March. Budget 10 million, a box office of over 25 million, so it was a hit. S.E. Hinton started this book when she was 15 years old. She finished it when she was 16, and the book was published when she was 17. She was there for the whole filming of the movie, and Coppola would have her dictate any questions he had. So she was a decision maker in the process of the filmmaking. She said she was very close with a lot of the boys, the cast, and said she felt kind of like a mother figure to them while filming was going on. I think we pretty much covered everything that I felt was interesting. There's a lot on there if you go and look. Dennis Quaid turned down the role of Daly in order to appear in The Right Stuff in 1983.
That's a smarter move. That's a smart move.
And I think that's about all I got. Like I said, I think we covered everything.
I did quickly watch a comparison video. Some YouTube channel that does sort of comparison videos of the original works to the adaptations, and they also did they did the book, theatrical, complete novel version, sort of explain that. The consensus seems to be the complete novel version, in terms of substance, substantially better, makes up for a lot of those gaps that you lose, like things that you lose in the theatrical. But a lot of people hate it because of the score change. So the music in this is actually like orchestral and very sweeping, very fitting of like the Gone with the Wind sort of aesthetic that he was going for. The complete novel version has this like surf rockabilly thing that is absolutely brutal. If I were to tell somebody to watch one particular comparison scene, the fountain sequence is almost comical with the surf rock score over it. It does not play dramatic at all.
Are the opening credits that Dick Dale song from Pulp Fiction? That'd be crazy.
Coppola came up with the complete novel version because his niece, I guess, covered it at school. And I guess he felt kind of bad.
She flunked her test.
Yeah.
He quickly cut a version together for her and like some classmates so they could watch the full version. And then he was like, oh, okay, well, let me just throw this out.
Let me fill in all the shit that I cut.
Yeah, I think that was like 2005.
Yeah. Well, and he was proposed, like, wasn't there like a teacher that sent him a letter that said...
A group of students felt that he would be the best to do the adaptation.
Okay. So this wasn't like a passion project thing for him. This was something that was like presented and he was like, okay, I could maybe, this is, like you were saying, this is different than Godfather and Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, he had his run there and he kind of wanted to dip his toes into a different genre of film, I guess.
Dear Mr. Coppola, we, Miss Smith's 6th grade class, all love the Godfather saga. Will you please direct?
You guys ready?
I'm ready. Rate my box!
Dan, I'm going to give you a 3.0. Kron, I'm going to give you a 3.0.
Dan, I'll give you a 3.0.
Kron, I'm giving you a 4.0.
Kron, why don't you start?
All right, guys, The Outsiders. I mean, we've kind of talked about this already. The thing that stood out to me the most on this rewatch is just the sheer amount of talent that is inside of this movie. The people who have 2 lines are A-list actors. It's incredible the cast that they got for this thing. Everyone performs. And I don't know, man. I mean, I had not watched this since middle school, and it is kind of a very touching movie, right? By like when you get to the end of it, Stay Gold Pony Boy is kind of a undying phrase for a reason. Like it hits hard. It's impactful. It's a good movie. Just top to bottom, it's a good movie. Now, that being said, I had not seen this since the 8th grade. I don't know if I will watch this again for another 10 to 15 years. I enjoy it. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it where it's not like material that I feel the need to go back and revisit for repeated viewings. But it is a solid movie. It's just start to finish, very, very good. I think ultimately I would be a 3.5 on this. 3.0 for the movie. Hey, extra 0.5 for Diane Lane. You're looking great.
Animal.
Gentlemen, The Outsiders from 1983, directed by Mr. Francis Ford Coppola, is a fantastic movie from start to finish. It's gorgeous. The acting, I think, shines through on even the smallest parts here. Just world building is so great here of Tulsa, Oklahoma, with greasers and socialites, preps, and just the cars, the drive-in. I think it works. I think Dylan's performance is very great. Macchio does a wonderful job as well. Like I said, it had been a long time as well since I'd seen this. I think Coppola does a lot here with a little, maybe there is a lot there, but this is a 4.0 for me. I enjoy this. I liked it. Still do. I think, I would come back to it.
I'm having a tough time judging the movie just as a movie. The content, the story does resonate with me quite a bit, but I think I have some massive problems with a lot of the editing choices in the movie, and I think it overall is a massive disability to the thing, because it does look great, the score is great, the acting is really good. While I do think some people are trying a little too hard, I think it fits in the style of the time. So this is, I just swallowed incorrectly. I'm not starting to cry. I was like trying to not shake up my ice. Now I'm actually tearing up because I'm fighting through it. But it's, this always had I get dinged for being the nostalgia raider on here for things, but this actually dropped a little bit for me on this watch. I do think I'll watch this again soon, but I want to watch the complete novel version. But the version that we watched and the version going on the big list, I got to give this a 3.5.
All right, guys. Let's see, where'd this thing end up? Here it is. The Outsiders. This would have an average score from the three of us of 3.67. This would end up ultimately at number 27 on the big list. This would currently be right below Near Dark, movie we discussed very recently, and right above Live Wire, a movie that has nothing to do with the other two movies that I just mentioned.
That's a movie that everybody should rewatch.
I agree.
Livewire's good, man.
Yeah. All right, this episode is gone way long in comparison to what I thought it would hit in my mind. I hope it was enjoyable. It's kind of a newer flavor for the show. I think it worked, though. Hopefully you found the episode enjoyable and the discussion educational. But for right now, I'll kick it over to my buddy Dan, because it's time to go.
As always, you fine folks out there. Thanks for all the support and the love. If you're on Apple and Spotify, please follow, rate, and review the show. It helps us bring the show to more people. Follow us on Letterboxd, Instagram. We're on Threads as well. Check that out. Check out the spooky season. Thanks to all the guests that came on. Wonderful having those buddies with us in this deadly game of podcasting. It's nice to have friends. But other than that, crash and burn.
Stay gold and burn.
Yeah, I was going to say stay gold. I was get tough like me, man.
Welcome to the After Shower Show, folks. We just went through The Outsiders from 1983, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, on our new category, the English Room TV Cart.
Bones, you didn't wash all the soot from the church fire off you in the shower?
No, I kind of want to wear it as like a fucking punishment because that episode sucked.
Why do you think that episode
I don't know.
sucked?
I wasn't on, man.
You brought a very
I don't know. You know, like just kind of
emotional movie tonight.
In the moment, it was like slow motion. It just like I'm dreading having to edit this and like revisit it. Like my monologue sucked. I wasn't in time with any, like, you guys had some great jokes and I just fell flat on. I just sucks.
I think you did a wonderful job bringing us through The Outsiders. It's got to be tough to watch that movie multiple times. I watched it twice, but take plot on that.
We also had all that great content about how proficiently I lay pipe, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Not true at all.
The audience is going to eat that shit up, dude.
Kron is a missionary man.
Fuck that, dude. No, I'm not. Stop putting that shit out there.
And
I'm on a mission.
I think
to
that
say that Kron's a missionary man
adds to my depression because it's like I can't even. It's like this such an emotional story about like not believing in yourself, or and then you're sitting there just lying blatantly about being a fuck machine, and I just can't.
You guys are fucking jealous.
I can't.
The talent I have.
I can't
he
buy
has
into
a
it.
3-inch dick and he does missionary only.
Nope. I've seen multiple Discord
it only
posts
took
about
154 episodes.
the hog that I got. So
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, we believe you. Not really. Join the
jealous.
Discord and make fun of Kron's average penis.
No. You know what's going to happen? Everybody's going to say, like, I believe Kron. I want to get fucked by Kron. I hope Kron fucks me.
they could be
Kron fucks me at Podslam 2024.
I hope I get some of that fucking funny juice up my keister because he's got a huge hog. He fucks good. He's so funny.
they could be so lucky.
I want to take that
Please.
mustache ride.
If we put up a photo of the three of us and it was who fucks best out of these three, I would get 98% of the votes.
You are aware that we have an Instagram page, right? I can do that.
Yeah, and
I'm
he
just
will
saying,
get
dude, I
all of the
will.
votes just to fucking spite us. So
That's true. But speaking of fucking, I gotta fuck you guys next week with a new pick for this new category, the English Room TV card from Bones. Thank you for the category. I like it. I hope we revisit this. I think it's a category that we can revisit. There's a lot out there, I think.
yeah, call it the fucking English TV cart to the Revenge History and Beyond
Don't
poems
give 'em any
about
ideas.
perfect vaginas.
I already got
Don't-
revenge categories picked out for
don't-
season 2.
Don't give them any ideas. So, gentlemen, when this was announced, I had a few titles that
I'm even
Popped
sucking
into
right
my
now.
head.
I suck now in the after shows, man.
you're not.
That
You're not
sucks.
sucking.
All right.
We're just
finish
recovering from the emotional storm that we went through with the Outsiders.
Yeah, maybe I do need to just. I've only fucked a few times today. Maybe I need to fucking cry and that'll be get my head right.
You need to fuck and then cry.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, emotions get the best of us during a romantic encounters. So you are more than welcome to cry after you make love.
Well, sometimes you see something that's so beautiful. And sometimes when I fuck, I just like have an out of body experience. It's like, God damn, I'm envious of the world that they get to watch it. You know?
Are you live streaming it?
Yeah, you got an OnlyFans going?
Yeah.
I'm just like, when are we going to do this again? Like 10 minutes from now? 20? Tomorrow? Next week? What? Name a date.
They keep tipping, I keep fucking. All right? Like, that's how you keep your audience happy. Thanks for the super tip.
Just a tip. But gentlemen, yeah, a few titles did come to mind whenever when Bones released this category. I just came back to my initial first thought on this, and kind of started looking at authors, and I came across this lady. Her name was S.E. Hinton, and it's a movie that was shot in Tulsa, Oklahoma, starring Matt Dillon and Diane Lane. And I said, well, that's weird. Who's the director of this? And I said, oh, look, it's Francis Ford Coppola. And I said, what year is this? I said, 1983. That's weird, too. I said, we're going to add Mickey Rourke. We're going to add Nicolas Cage. We're going to add Chris Penn. We're going to keep Tom Waits. And we're going to add a little Lawrence Fishburne. And gentlemen, we're also going to add Dennis Hopper to that list, because we're going to do Rumblefish, the movie that Mr. Coppola shot on Sundays while filming The Outsiders.
Is this available anywhere?
Bold.
It is on Prime for 6 more days. But of course, gentlemen, you will be provided with a fine Blu-ray from the Criterion that I will provide you.
Thank you, Dan.
And Kron, just to rub it in your fucking craw, this is in black and chrome.
Shit.
I thought this would be a wonderful comparison piece to The Outsiders.
I mean,
it.
probably. I don't dislike black and white movies. I dislike when they put a movie out in color and then 6 months later they're like, here it is again in black and white. Enjoy, you pieces of shit.
But yes, this is the first movie that I thought of when Bones announced
Spoken like
this
a guy
in
who
our
only has
reviews.
one sex position.
Me or him?
No.
Karan? Yeah, totally. Missionary.
You're reaching.
But if The Outsiders is missionary, this is Doggy Style for
I'm doing
Rumblefish.
I'm doing positions you haven't even read about yet.
We're also adding Mickey Rourke, who did
I
audition.
took the Kama Sutra as like a starter's text. Like, here, elaborate from here.
It looks like Sofia Coppola's in this again, too.
Yes, she is.
Shocker. I'm excited, man.
This is a movie that has always been on the list for 5-day rentals, and I said I have a category that was designed around it, but I can poke some other stuff in there. But I thought this would be a perfect time for this. And well, like I said, when you said the category based on books, and then you said it was The Outsiders, I was like, oh shit! Like I know what I'm doing, hands down. I think this is it's a rated R. You'll see some differences. It's not the same. Karan, you'll appreciate Mrs. Diane Lane a lot more in this one.
Oh, I can't wait. Sounds promising, dude.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, guys, Rumblefish, like I
Dan
said,
just made a motion like he was sucking on a lollipop. That was cool. How'd you do that with your tongue?
Yeah, see?
We gotta go.
I wonder
hitting
what
the 3
Francis
hour
Ford Coppola movie I'll pick for this category.
Hey, you hit Dracula. We'll have a direction erection going on over here. But yeah, gentlemen, next week we're doing Rumblefish from 1983, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. It's going to be a good time. I think you'll enjoy it. But till then, stay golden.
Stay gold.
Kron, I believe you can fuck. I do.
Dude,
I
I
do.
can throw down.
Okay.
I don't know why you guys are doubting me tonight.
I just don't want it out there that you fuck more or better than me. Like there's very few things where I'm like like you can say that you do, but to say
He doesn't fuck more.
That's a timing thing. You know the position I'm in. You can't say that right. Kron a year ago versus Kron now. It's a completely different ball game, dude. I mean,
You just need to be fucking careful.
we just need to
All
put
right?
each of us film what we're doing.
You should be wearing condoms right now.
Fuck that.
Oh my god, dude.
I would
stay
never.
gold.
I would
Sending you some
never.
fucking diapers again, aren't I? God damn it. Don't do it, dude.
I do what I want to.